welcome to Miami here in FSGP for the 2024 season. I am Captain Foxy, your commentator, and joined with me is Niels in the commentary booth. And we can't wait for the action to start. Today we have something special. Guus van Doremalen won't join us today as he is busy with writing music for his band. But that won't be an issue in the championship as FSGP has a special rule in place just for that. The rule being called drop rounds. Drop rounds work for the intention that if you miss out a few rounds, those points will not be counted towards the championship. So, only the best 17 rounds out of the 24 rounds this season will be counted towards the season. So, today, Guus van Doremalen can drop today's round. The title fight between Doremalen and Milanov will still rage on. It will only depend who will get more wins this season, and preferably inside those 17 rounds. So, join us today as we get onto the grid now. Down in 18th is Nico6914 with a lap time of a 1 minute 7.3. Up in 17th is Lorenzo Laderas, and in 16th Ashley Wandersalm. In 15th we have Vitor Almeida, and in 14th Menno Blombergen. In 13th we have David Wilson, and in 12th Heidi Zorkot. Up in 11th we have Alexander Leitner, and in P10 Frank Dapper. In 9th we have Luca Panebianco, and up ahead Niels de Paul. 7th is Diego Rosado, and 6th Brandon Pearce. Up in P5 we have Viel Niemi, and 4th Laszlo Sabo. In the top 3 we have Antonio Correa, and in P2 Lozzy Lozzy. And Jason Milanov with a 58.0 lap time will round out the grid up in pole position. So now, let's wait for the lights to turn off and hope for some action to begin. As the cars are lined up on the grid, engines are roaring, and the drivers can't wait for the lights to go out. And it slides out and away we go, and Jason Milanov has a great start off the line, following everyone else into turn 1. We see Jason Milanov running away, Lozzy second and Correa third. Great start from him.
Indeed, and Sabo is now in 4th with Correa in 3rd. He can get a surprise podium here if he keeps running like this. So far so good, it's clean at the start, but it's always chaotic in the beginning.
Let us see who can now manage to gain as much time as in the back. We see a few cars going side by side already into the turn 11, 12 and 13 complex. The most difficult part of this track. So narrow, but so fast indeed with these cars.
Yeah, indeed, and you have to be careful because the walls are really close by. Those sausage curbs are really difficult. And you have to make sure you don't hit the wall. It's just flat out after this. Oh, as we see a mistake. Oh! And I think that's Sabo with a mistake. And I hope nobody hit him. Oh, and I think
Niemi was going down the inside of Sabo. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but that looked like Sabo going way too wide into the final corner, going into turn 17 and hit the outside sausage curb and hit the wall. And that just made him spin. As we see the replay of turn 1, you see so many cars going side by side. They're off the corner, off turn 2. There must be some penalties going through there. As track limits is something you gotta watch out for. As now we see here the battle for 4th between Pearce and Niemi into turn 11. Will Pearce do something? Niemi defending the inside line, but great defense there. Pearce gonna have to look for some space there.
Yeah, and as we saw here, indeed, different racing lines, and now he's all over the back of Niemi. Already alongside, getting a better run. And now I think he's already in front. Who's going to be the latest on the brakes? And I think Pierce has this.
Oh.
Yes, Pierce,
Yes.
great overtake.
Niemi has lost out the position there. Gotta see what Pierce now does in the defense. Into turn 1. Defends the inside line. Niemi checking out that outside line that doesn't quite work. The grip there working in Pierce's favor. Now into sector 1. It just look at how grippy these cars are going through here. I think there's a car going wide. There's Pierce losing the rear a little. Going over that sausage curb. But now, great run from Niemi. Side by side.
Yeah, indeed, Pierce made a mistake and now Niemi is all over the back of him. He has the inside line, late braking, and he's past it. You saw Pierce going a little bit too much to the inside, and that cost him the place. But now again, he takes a different line in this chicane, and it seems to work for him. Niemi is defending now. He's going around the outside. It's going to be seen who brakes the fastest. Can he do the switchback? Yeah, brakes a little late. He's going, tries a switchback. Has a better exit, but this straight is quite short. You have to get it down the inside. Does he go down the inside? He goes down. Ooh, and they almost collide. Ooh, that was really close.
Battle for third here raging on. We see just the two drivers taking those different lines as we see a replay of lap 1. Look at that, as that's, I believe that's Pawn there going a bit wide, but now side by side you see there. 4P9, that was a great overtake into turn 11. There's also a few cars at Wilson as well going side by side with Damper. Yeah, great braking there for Damper. Great confidence. There's a crash as well that we missed out in the back. As I believe that's now Niemi running away with that P3 as well. And you see there a big incident, 3-car pileup as that's Wilson and Almeida going there into turn 13.
Yeah, while Niemi and Pierce are still going at it. We saw a double spin there. Pierce trying to get around the outside. I don't think it worked. And oh no, Pierce did get ahead. So I think we missed it. Pierce now has the advantage. I think we weren't really looking at their overtakes. Ooh, as he goes wide now. Will that compromise his exit line? Because this is important. He goes indeed wide. Niemi in the slipstream. Where does he go? He goes the inside. Pierce, I think he isn't defending. I think he knows this battle is over before it even started. And indeed, later braking from Niemi, and that's an easy place gained. But he has to keep it good. Has to go wide, get a good exit, and I don't think he has it. I think both drivers are good at different parts of the circuit, and that makes just that they overtake each other one lap after the other. And for as a spectator, as a commentator, I can't complain for this. As Pierce goes down the inside. I didn't saw that coming. I didn't know he was going to do that. I will see another replay.
As we saw the grip advantage on Pierce's car going down the inside on turn 17, I believe Niemi just went a little wide there as we now see the replay of lap 2 between Wilson and Paul. Was great racing as they went side by side out of turn 7 and 8 onto the back straight here into turn 11. I believe they nearly went 3 wide. That's great racing. I saw there's been contact as well. Big crash, but keep your eyes on the left as the battle for third still raging on. Niemi just on that rear diffuser off Pierce. Now onto the back straight onto turn 17. Will the slipstream work to have a look down the inside as we now have a third driver as well, Correa, on their back as well. Will we see something happen there? But this battle, great. These drivers concentrating as much as they can while the top 2 are running away here.
Yeah, indeed, Lassie and Milanov, they're not separated by much. Pierce is already 12 seconds behind Lassie, while Milanov is only 2.7 seconds ahead. But I mean, I think he will comfortably win. It's yeah, he's a faster driver at the moment. But indeed, all those battling, it makes you lose time. And you see this, Correa is closing in. He's not there yet. He's not yet that on the diffuser, and I think Niemi is also losing a little bit out toward Pierce because he As you see in this chicane complex, he takes just a different line, whereas Niemi always loses a couple of tenths. As you see now, a replay between Wilson and Rosado. Oh, as they nearly collide there. I think that's Rosado trying to make an overtake on Wilson. It's really far back. Oh, but he's getting overtaken as well. Around the outside. Is it going to work? No, it doesn't.
Replay from lap 6 between Dapa, Wilson and Rosado for P8 respectfully, as there's a lot of battles happening on track, the most important one being for the last podium position. Obviously you want to be the winner in that situation, but obviously in this race you also got to be careful, as you only have a limited amount of fuel. If you push too hard you have to go for an earlier stop, as these cars have the limit of 7 liters, which will impact the strategy play. But yeah, looking at that replay, you see just how many cars are so close together. As Niels said as well, into the final sector, the different lines through the complex of turn 15, 16. You just gotta see who takes a better line, as lap 6 replay. Oh, Rosado trying to with the switchback, going side by side onto the main straight. I believe he did do the move later on the brakes. But yeah, with the battles going on, there's a 4-way battle there for P8.
Yeah.
Gotta see how later on that plays out, but no one backs out there.
No, indeed, and now we're just almost looking at 2 battles at the same time. It's switching. What are Pierce and Yemi doing, and now what are Wilson and Rosado doing? Side by side here. Again, Rosado finally being ahead. They're almost 3 wide. Going into the chicane. This can't end well. As there's a spin. Oh, and that's Depot, and oh, all 3, Wilson, Depot, and I think that's Leitner colliding. Ooh, that's that can't be good. Also with damage on. Yeah, this is painful. This is painful. Oh, as we see Niels in the pits.
Eyes are now on the top 2 battling here. Lozzy real close to Milanov. I believe Milanov's just pace not being quite there, as in the slipstream. You see the slipstream effect affecting these cars greatly. Will Lozzy have a move? Down turn 11. You see a back marker already there. Down the inside goes Lozzy. Will Milanov defend? Side by side into this complex of end of sector 2. As these corners, see Milanov taking a way wider there. Maybe for a better exit, as now they lap. I believe that's Sabo. And now into turn 17. This long straight. These cars being really affected by the slipstream. Late on the brakes of Lozzy, losing the rear a little. Careful there, so you want to be careful with your brake bias to not be too in the rear. These cars having issues with their rear heating, so you gotta be careful not to push it too hard. As now on board with Milanov. But I see just how much he pushes. Eyes obviously in the back. Mirrors not being on the real car, but in this race the virtual mirrors are activated. But look how close Lozzy is. Now back on the back straight.
Yeah, now it's for Lozzy. It's all about the exit. He needs to put pressure on Milanov. Obviously, Milanov is a very experienced driver. I don't think he will be scared about Lozzy and overtaking. He knows what it is to drive under pressure. And we see, I think Lozzy, that's a little bit too tight to get a better exit. And you see, indeed, Milanov, he's creeping away. He keeps the gap open. I know he feels the pressure. As you see, indeed, Lozzy almost drifting through that final corner. I think he has a brake bias really, really far down to get a lot of rotation. Because his cars are quite understeer, despite having so much downforce. Their setup-wise quite understeer, so I think he wants to eliminate that. As we go back again to the battle for the last podium place between Pierce and Yemi. They are close again. They are, both drivers haven't been on the podium this race, this weekend. Weekend race season. Yeah, obviously they won't be on the podium this weekend. Haven't been on the podium this season, so it might be a shock result for both.
As these drivers, as Niels said, this is going to be the first podium battle for these two drivers, Pierce and Niemi. But we're also going to see Lozzie going for his first win this season, as it was just a trade between Milanov and Duremalen. But look at these four drivers all going close by, not even a second between Lozzie and Milanov, and here not even a second between Pierce and Niemi. But into the slipstream goes Niemi, that orange black car. Gotta see what he does into turn 17, locking up the front, going into the pit lane. Now the strategy plays a huge role as we see a replay of the battle for P7, Wilson and I believe that's I can't really see that, but it's Leitner, I believe, there for into the third sector. I'm gonna see what the move is. It's just losing the rear tires. We've seen a lot of cars doing that with Lozzie, and now here as well with that blue car, the 777 car, now on the live board as well for P5, the battle between Pane, Bianco and Correa. We saw Correa had a great qualifying session and looking to represented in this race and going side by side down the main straight, very close to the wall there. Pane Bianco giving no space to Correa into turn 11. Will Correa have a move on the outside? Who's great on the brakes? Looks like Pane Bianco is more brave and goes back into P5 into the final complex of corners. Will the slipstream effect help Correa as well? Look how close they are. Pane Bianco losing the rear, pushing him onto the inside line. There's millimeters between these cars. Pane Bianco really closing in, but now going for the outside line. Correa down the inside. Contact.
No!
Big incident between the two.
What an anticlimax. Oh, those drivers they were on the road to have such a great result, and now it's I think Leitner and Rosado in 5th and 6th position. And yeah, Pane Bianco having a great race, lost in Shanghai being 7th. Now he had the chance to be 5th with Hughes and Elias Hawk missing out. So all drivers can get a lot of points here.
As looking at the front, Lozzie has gone for his first stop, I'm sorry, as we now can see what Milanov doesn't respect, and now here the battle for P5, nearly going 3 wide into turn 11. Leitner, bit of contact there with, I believe that's Niemi, again contact, barging their way through, side by side there for P6 is, I believe that's Correa again, trying to get the positions back after that incident you see at the back. There's going to be 3 wide between Powell, Wilson and Wilson. Correa as well in the back. Guys on fronts and back. As I believe Niemi going wide. Pane Bianco taking back the position. As now goes Niemi through it. I believe that's a back marker. I'm sorry there.
I think that's Rosado, isn't it? I think that's
Rosado. Like a back marker too.
No idea, but this battle is close. 4 drivers, I believe, all so close to each other. Yeah, and luckily it ended quite okay. I mean, Correa and Pane Bianco collided, but this is good news for Leitner and Rosado, moving up into 6th and 7th position.
This track now the closest battle on track. Leitner versus Niemi, looking for that hat trick. Oh, there's a back marker having an incident there in turn 16. Is Leitner gonna report that into turn 17 for P5? Down the outside, late on the brakes. He's gonna look for the switchback, as I believe that's Rosado nearly taking him out there. No, that's a back marker. I'm sorry. So look at the back there. So it's side by side. I believe Correa and Rosado going side by side. Leitner not quite getting the exit out of turn 17 that he wanted to, but Niemi running away there. I believe a bit of back markers battle there between Salm and Zorkot. Great battle there. So, careful with the rejoin. There's been a contact out of turn 8. But now look at how many cars are on track there. No contact, a bit of contact there into turn 8, but we're gonna see what happens out to turn 11. Goes Leitner looking for a move on the outside as Niemi defends that inside line.
Yeah, indeed, and it's with the bad markers, it's going to be annoying. Those cars are there; they can't just disappear. I think it was Rosado with a little bit of contact. Yeah, I mean, he's still there. If you have a fast corner like that, you can't just disappear out of it. Luckily none of them spin because those walls are grabby. I thought I think that's Bloembergen. He was just going to get stuck in the wall and crash into everybody else, so luckily that didn't happen.
As eyes up ahead, Milanov in the pit lane looking for the gap to Lozzy. It goes down. It's down to 7 seconds. It drops 6. Lozzy takes the lead with that undercut, working greatly in his favor. Might just be a first winner. It's back here. 4P6 goes Rosado down the inside of Leitner. Great move. Is there going to be a double overtake? Is Correa going to get that as well? Penetrating for the inside line into turn 11, but not quite more working. Oh, bad line from Leitner. Is Correa going to have a look? The back straight now. These cars, 9 into turn 17. Who gets the best slipstream? Who will be braver on the brakes onto turn 17? Looks like Rosado losing a little their braking point. They're going wide. Leitner on his rear. Coming maybe down the inside. Turn 1. Not quite looking there. Correa also closing in, edging his way closer.
Yeah, indeed. All around the Panebianco train. 4 drivers now. Between Panebianco, Rosado, Leitner and Correa. They can all just take this 5th place and get a huge chunk of points. And neither driver is willing to give up their place. Every driver wants this position. And we see in the back Leitner versus Correa, Rosado versus Panebianco now. Oh, he's almost into that diffuser. Oh, I think Panebianco a little bit of a different line. Rosado is around the back of him. This is going to be it for 5th place. Rosado has to make his move right now. They are side by side. Rosado takes the outside line. Panebianco breaks a little bit later. Oh no, he goes into the pit lane. Oh, I think that was a smart move maybe. It's certainly tactical. And now Rosado is in 5th place and he has to make that time good to Panebianco now.
As I believe Correa got the position on Leitner as well before Leitner jumped into the pits. We gotta see if the undercut works. We saw Lozzy's undercut working on Milanov. Right now the battle here on board with Milanov into sector 1. Lozzy just right there. You see the light blue car just trying to get as much advantage as possible. As we see the back markers not making it easy. Milanov with a tighter line through turn 7, now 8. Will the slipstream help? Lozzy as well getting the slipstream from back marks, but those are 3 wide. I believe that's a battle for 8th there. That's the car trying to look down the inside, but Lozzy has to find his way through. There's contact. That's a car round. I believe that's Sabo round the turn 11 as Milanov trying to get the better line. Lozzy going running out of the back marker. Slipstream for Milanov into turn 17. This long back straight. Miami having a great back straight here. They lap the back markers. Milanov a bit of contact. We see Milanov sliding through turn 17. Now onto the main straight. You see Lozzy gaining a bit of time there. The gap jumped up from half a second to 8/10. That's 3/10 advantage, and with these small cars, that's all that can play for the win. So great racing for Lozzy. This is going to be a hat trick for him.
Yeah, Lozzy, yeah, indeed, again, trying to get a podium. Last in Shanghai, he missed out on the podium. Now he can get the win. He needs to keep the head calm. He needs to keep driving how he's driving. He needs to keep doing what he's doing, because clearly it is working. He is keeping Milanov at bay, and he has to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes. Milanov now almost on 1 second again. I think it's going away from Lozzy.
Lozzy is gonna complete the final few laps, going around the final couple corners. Milanov losing out a bit of gap there as the gap went from half a second now to 9/10. Milanov has to bring something here if he wants to bring something for the championship battle, as well as obviously only 17 rounds counting in this 24 round championship, but obviously the battle counting for who gets the most wins. And if Milanov doesn't get a win every race he can get, that helps Dodermalen gain a bit of advantage there as well. Well, sadly he can't race today as he's out on a business trip for a band in Belgium. But Milanov, being here, has to bring the best he can, which looks like will not be quite the best he wants to, as Lozzy just
Great defense from him. Hat-trick from him, we heard before this race, and he said that he practiced as much as possible for this race, practicing every tiny detail of the car, and it looks like also with the setup it looked like Lozzy just nailing it better than Milanov does, as we see Lozzy sliding through the exit there. We've heard that setup wise Freedom G Drive is having a bit of issue, but looks like this time with that quiet work, the little work that you can do goes into Lozzy's favor, but Milanov catching half a second.
Indeed, he said in the beginning, is that contact with the back marker that just didn't want to get out of the way. And now Milanov is really close as we don't see the replay. As, I think, Lozzy is into the wall. No, this is Milanov side by side. This is for the lead of the race. Lozzy again in the slipstream. Is he gonna go? Milanov doesn't want to give the inside. He has to go the outside. And now it's waiting again. Make sure Milanov takes the worst line into the chicane and make sure you are in that rear wing on the back straight, but I think Milanov has the advantage now. I don't think he's going to give it away. 4/10 now. This is far. Lozzy has to push. He has to do something now, because now it's Milanov in control. He is still really close. Milanov is trying to defend. This is the final lap of the race. This is what it's all about. Now he has to get
and now eyes on Lozzy. We saw in the last lap out of turn 16, crashing into the wall, losing out again into sector 1. Looks like the rear just not quite working for Lozzy. Being very aggressive with those rear tires. Now onto the first back straight. This very long, squirmy back straight. Is Lozzy gonna get the slipstream? Just a bit too far behind. He has to bring us something today. Does he want to get that first win? He has to bring his hat trick. As Milanov with the lucky overtake in the last lap with Lozzy's mistake. But Lozzy getting a great one. Oh no, touching the wall. Now getting closer. Edging his way closer into the final couple corners.
Only 2 tenths.
Slipstream, Milanov defending the inside line. Great defense. Going a bit wide there, but Milanov defensive into the final corner. Gets the win. Lozzy in second. Oh,
what a race.
I can't believe it. Wow.
I think Lozzy will be disappointed for this one. That's so disappointing for him. Getting his first win of the season would be a huge chunk of points that he would get. He had the pace, and as we now see, it's still a battle for 4th position between Rosado and Correa. As we go into the stadium section. Now, who is going to be faster on this back straight? Who has the best slipstream? I think he is too far. 5th, 6th, 10th already. I think also Niemi with a great podium. He won out on Correa, who made a little mistake. As you now see Rosado, great result from him as well. Not in the points last race. I think, 4th position, best position of this season right now.
That was for 5 as Milanov has left early, so that was for P5 between Correa and great racing out here in Miami. We've had our ups and downs of every driver, and wow, I'm sweating here in the commentary booth. Are you, Niels?
Yeah, it is. Could also be something with the weather because it was really hot, but this race certainly was even hotter. Wow, I think we haven't seen the battle for the race, for the lead in this while. It's a bit disappointing for Lozzy. I feel for him. He had such a good race, doing the undercut, then coming out ahead, and then having a mistake with that back marker, colliding, making a mistake in that long left-hander, which is really, really tricky, even without having people in front of you. And then indeed, you can't blame Milanov for that.
Before we end today's broadcast, I want to ask you, Niels, is your driver of the day?
I mean, I have to say, Lozzy, he didn't win today, but he drove the best for me. Jason said as well he had some problems with the race. Lozzy had the fastest lap for a very long while, I think. And for me, he deserved to win. That doesn't mean Jason didn't deserve to win either. He drove immaculately, didn't make any mistakes. It was only in the middle of the race that Lozzy was just a bit faster. But then again, he's a bit of an underdog. You don't expect him to do this good. So yeah, it's got to be Lozzie.
As we go now through the championship leaderboards, Jason Minoff running away with the P1, but keep your eyes out on that as we gotta count the drop rounds. As can happen as well that Milanov will lose out on a few races, and Dordemalin catching out as Dordemalin in P2 in the leaderboards. Lozzie P3, great race from him today, getting P2, just missing out and winning the final laps there. And Hulk not racing today, getting P4, it is in P4 in the leaderboards. P5 Brandon Pierce and P6 Valniemi. 7 Laszlo Sabo and P8 Antonio Correa. P9 is Diego Rosado, and completing a P10 in the leaderboards is Gustav Bettings. Just one last thing is, gotta add that Niels did race today as well, so
Yes,
any feedback on that as well?
Oh yeah, it was a great race for me, to be honest. It was great to be back in the car. It was really difficult race, essentially. A lot of spins. You saw also me crashing in the middle of the race. And then going into the pits because I pressed the wrong button. Otherwise, I can only say I enjoyed it. If you want to join as well, join the Discord server, race as well. It's a lot of fun. These cars are so much fun to drive. It's not always easy to get them right, especially with the strategy, because you have 6 liters, and it's sometimes difficult to calculate how much fuel do you have. Do you have still enough fuel for 1 lap, 2 laps? So that was also really fun, and I had a great battle with Rosado and Leitner before, yeah, we crashed.
Thank you so much for watching today's broadcast of the Miami GP. Join us next time in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Italy for round 7, May 18th, so watch out for that.
Thank you very much for watching, and we see you next time.